Hey everybody, welcome to Friday Sews, March 5th, 2021. So in today's video, you cannot tell that I am standing in the middle of chaos. I'll post a picture so you can see. But let's just ignore the mess around me and focus on what's behind me, which is a nice display. We're ready for St. Patrick's Day, right? Oh my gosh, I forgot. How could I forget this little dude? So this guy, I make these gnomes, and I made him for St. Patrick's Day last year, so he's going to hang out here because he belongs here. So yeah, these gnomes I've made. My pattern weights are gnomes. You may have seen them if you watched my room tour video, that I have like 6 little gnomes. These are so great. They are good workers. They hold the pattern down. They don't shift, and they're just friendly, and they make me happy. So yeah, I love these guys. I love to make them. But anyway, where was I? Okay, so if you've been following me on my Friday sews, you know that I'm working on a raglan coat. I have not done anything new to that coat. I'm supposed to draft my lining pieces, but I have not. Instead, I got sidetracked and decided to go and start working on some other projects, which I'm going to share with you when we go to the table to look at things close up. I have LaCroix. Do you guys like LaCroix? I think Jen, today in Jen's sewing room, she likes the limoncello LaCroix. And I like that one too, but I'm on a berry kick right now. I also like bubbly. But anyway, it's Friday. My mind is not... we need to focus. Okay, so I'm on a big fit kick. It's weird to say that. I don't know, fit kick? Okay. I really want to learn how to fit better. I want to make garments that fit well. So the other night, I just decided, after being shown on YouTube, it's suggesting this Sure Fit videos. Yeah, so... It's owned by a lady named Glenda Sparling, and she goes by Glenda the Good Stitch. And, every time I look for videos on how to fit things, her videos usually come up. And she sells this system called Sure Fit Designs, and you basically have this, body template, and she has a special ruler, and she has these instructions, and you take your measurements, you use 11 different measurements, and you plot, and you basically draw out your bodice that fits you. And Joy, I think her last name's Bearheart or something like that. She's a real cutie on YouTube. I'll link her below. She's got some reviews on SureFit, and she's used it a long time. I said, you know what? I'm just going to order it, and I did, so it should be here, I don't know, in a few days. And I think when I do decide to make my first bodice from it, I will film it, and it will be kind of like a first impressions. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it's easy. So I will do that. Another fit method is the Palmer Pletsch tissue fitting method, which I'm about to show you some things here at the table. But I did go to the Sew Expo. I went to my classes. The armhole ones, I'm not real sure about. The bra fitting one, great information. Just about, even just going to the store and knowing how to buy a bra that better fits. Like, for instance, TMI, but my bras don't have a seam. And actually, I learned that I should have a seam. They'll fit better. But I don't anticipate I'm really being a big bra maker. I've never made one. I think it was mostly for me. Because bras are important, I think, in fitting in general, because your clothes fit better when you have the right bra size on, blah, blah, blah. The fitting class I took was based on Palmer Pletsch, which, again, I'm going to show you at the table. So those were fun. We did some practice. We had these little tiny bodices, and we did some practice manipulation on them. But I was already familiar with it because I have the Palmer Pletsch book, and I've taken the private lesson a year or so ago. But I just wanted a refresher and, different teachers, sometimes you just learn from different people, different things, right? So I think now what we should do is go to the table so I can show you what I've been working on and all that good stuff. So the projects I'm working on, well, I've started to cut out the patterns. So you may recall from my last video, I wanted to make a dress using New Look 6413. So I've cut this out. I've cut view D out. I thought I was going to actually cut a length somewhere between D and C, but the length for this one was just fine. Oh, except the sleeves. I made short sleeves, not the longer sleeves. So there you go. Now, I originally had said I was going to place this line, the center front, on the fold so that I wouldn't have to use a zipper. This is an invisible zipper, if you can see that. But I'm kind of toying with the idea of actually just going ahead and using the zipper. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put it on the fold or should I put the zipper in? Another thing I don't like facings. I hate facings. I find that they tend to pop out. But I'm wondering if I draft an all-in-one facing, if that will be better. Or should I just do some binding? You guys, give me your tips below. I need to know because I'm going to work on this a little bit over the weekend. And then it was raining here in San Diego. Can you believe it? It was raining and it was cold. It was like in the 60s, and you guys are gonna laugh at me because you're probably like, that's nothing. But so it inspired me to cut out the pattern for New Look 6683 and pull out this Carson knit that I got from Melanated Fabrics. So I want to make view A without the patch pockets. I'm not a huge patch pocket person, so, and you know me, I'm a big sweater tunic person, so this is on my list, even though it's starting to warm up again, getting back to the 70s. We all know and love here in San Diego. And if you recall from last week's Friday Sews, I was debating on what pattern to use for this fabric, and a few of you spoke up and gave me your opinion, and I have chosen to use McCall's 8036 View A with the double tier of ruffles and the sleeve, so it shows off more of this, I call it illusion fabric. It's like an optical illusion. So I have made a decision on this one. I have also made a decision on this beautiful tulip fabric. Now I just have to make sure I have enough before I commit, but I really like the Marguerite dress from Sew Over It. I think it's kind of got, guess it has a vintage vibe to it, but I do think that this will work nicely with that dress because this is a large print, and I really think that the silhouette, the cut of that dress is really going to show off these beautiful tulips. So let me know what you think about that. The two patterns I purchased, I think I got them on eBay or Etsy, one or the other or both, are from McCall's, the Palmer Pletsch line, and the Palmer Pletsch patterns are all about tissue fitting. If you're not familiar with tissue fitting, there is the book. This is a great guide. It's not that difficult. It does take practice. I am still very much learning, so it's just, I think mainly fitting is about understanding where the problem is coming from, and that just takes a lot of trial and error. But this book is really great if you want to learn how to fit. I think the Palmer Pletsch method has a lot to offer, especially when it comes to understanding your body. Even if this isn't the method you use forever, it certainly does help you to understand what's going on and why you need to make some adjustments. So I do recommend this book, and I'm still learning. It's just one way I'm learning about fit. So I wanted to pick up some additional Palmer Pletsch patterns, and what makes them special, if you will, is they have already pre-drawn guidelines or adjustment lines where you would need to or common adjustments for your patterns. But you can use the Palmer Pletsch method on any pattern, so don't worry about that. But I saw these specifically for Palmer Pletsch, decided to pick them up. I really like this. I think the seam lines here that kind of make it look like almost like a belt are really cool. You can make this out of wools, satines, and crepes, and you can use a stable knit, like a double knit. And then I got this one. This is 4 knits because I want to learn how to, you know, fit knits a little bit better, even though knits are much easier to fit. Well, they fit better in general because the fabric stretch and can mold around your body more than a woven can. So in this case, this looks like a wrap, but it's actually not, because if you look at the line drawing, you can see that there is a waistband, and then there's some gathers, but on the, let's say, pseudo faux wrap dress, if you will, it's got some belts that tie around that make it look like it's wrap. Yeah, well, it does have a wrap crossover for that particular view. So yeah, I got these 2 patterns, and going back to Palmer Pletsch, let's just talk about, so this is the pattern that pretty much goes with this book. This is your basic kind of standard sheath fit pattern. You've got the skirt, like the pencil skirt, and then you've got the bodice, and you have a long sleeve or a short sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve. And this is what I used to fit my bodice here, which is, actually, this is my front one. Yep, this is what it looks like, all my adjustments. So about a year or so ago, I had a lesson with a fit expert who specialized in this method, and she helped me make my kind of body blueprint, my sloper. There's different terms for it, but taking the basic bodice, as you see here, and applying the adjustments I needed, I just wanted to share with you. I needed a full bust adjustment. So that meant cutting this line and then making a hinge, opening it up 3/4 of an inch. This adjusted my side dart here. There is a dart here. It became like lower and not as wide as the one that was originally drafted in this pattern. And then I also needed a forward shoulder adjustment, as many of us do these days because of the way we sit and kind of almost hunch over. So we have to shift the seam line forward towards the front. So the back adjustments, and these are adjustments I'm probably going to need in most of my patterns, and it helps me understand my body. This one, I needed to, as I said before, I needed to move the seam line forward, so I ended up adding more tissue. This here, this is a rounded shoulder adjustment. So open this up about, it's like 3/8 of an inch. So you cut and you kind of make a hinge and you open it up. So it very slightly curves up here. So you're not, with something like this, if you have to have a back adjustment like that, like a rounded back or a sway back, well, a sway back you could actually have it on the fold. There's some back adjustments, especially like a rounded back, that you no longer will have it on the fold. You have to have a center back seam because it's no longer straight. It starts to curve in. And actually, you guys, I know maybe some of you don't want a center back seam, but it will make such a big difference in your fit. So I had that adjustment, and then of course I had to have length, and then I have a sway back. A lot of us have sway backs. So those are the adjustments I need. And actually, I think in the end, we ended up thinking that I could add a tiny bit of a dart here. A lot of times if you have some like gaping here, it can be fixed by pushing this up here, the seam in, and creating a dart. And then you'll have to add tissue to compensate. I know it's a little bit much, and I don't expect you to follow along, but these are just some types of adjustments that my body personally needs. And you can learn all of this in this book. I mean, it's really, really, really helpful. And I'm still on my journey to a better fit. So moving on, one of the things I got in the mail from Amazon today, or not today, but a few days ago, is the Palmer Pletsch book on knits. It's called Knits for Real People. Now, I haven't actually gotten to really read the book, but I did want to share with you that I got it, and hopefully by next Friday Sews, I'll be able to talk about it, but I'm expecting that it's going to be great, just like the other one, except this one is for knits, and I really like to work with knits. So there you go. Check it out if you haven't already. Palmer Pletsch. Okay, so that is all I have to share with you this Friday. I've been holding these pens for dear life. These are some new Sharpies I got for marking patterns when I'm doing like drafting and changes on the pattern. I really like them. They're just be careful because they're Sharpie and they'll bleed and they're permanent. So that is all for me for this Friday. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram at SoCal_socialite. I do post little snippets there as I sew things, if you will. But I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you in my next video.